Welcome back to Fire Emblem, Thracia 776. This is Chapter 8 Gaiden. This is going to be kind of a laid back one, because it's early in the morning, and I just made a really big coffee. And I'm probably going to be clearing my throat a lot. I'll try to edit all of those out. But you might hear some of that, and me clanking around the metal straw in my coffee. Anyway, this is let's see, it's the second Gaiden chapter in this game, right? And it is maybe a little bit more difficult than the first one. Dagda and Tanya come back here, and they are in kind of a precarious situation, as you are going to see in a moment. I put some torches on Dagda for this very reason, and he can reveal pretty much the entire map on the first turn, or I suppose I put them on Tanya, actually, but you get the idea. And basically, it's just like a treasure and kill bandits map. And I almost always bring this like rough group of guys here, like Asbel, Nana, the Thieves, Ashian. I rarely deviate from that, and I always approach this chapter in the same way. So you can you can save the most amount of time while getting all of the treasures by sending a thief in either direction. You don't really have to. The map is small enough where you can just run around the other side if you just want to go all one way with like one thief even. But Dagda, as you can see here, can get overcommitted. Even in his starting position here, he's taken a lot of damage. And I've never lost him here, but it's definitely possible. Don't send him out too far, I would say. And don't give him like I don't like to give him the Brave Axe for this very reason, because he can suffer from killing too many enemies, honestly. And although, so when I explained the skill known as accost in a previous chapter, I think I was like a little bit wrong somehow, because so after he loses a certain amount of hit points, he'll stop triggering accost either in his own rounds of combat or during enemy phase. But I will never fully, completely understand how it works, especially in relation to Fire Emblem 4, because the formula are different across the two games. So basically just what you need to know is keep him back a little bit. There's really no rush in that center section, and what I like to do for a little extra insurance, especially in Ironmans, is to have Nana provide support for Dagda there, and you can even do the same with Ashian and Tanya. I think I did that here on this first turn. But a funny quirk of this mission is that Tanya is the only character besides Avel who's actually invincible for some period of time. In this case, it's like the first 10 odd turns, she is invincible, and I don't really know why they chose to do that, really. I guess because she's just at such high risk here, and maybe they're trying to gear it toward, like, Dagda is kind of supposed to die here, defending his daughter, and then you rescue Tanya. Maybe that's like poetically what's supposed to happen somehow. I don't know, but it's pretty easy to keep Dagda alive here. Mentioned in Chapter 3 was that I made a mistake with my like loadouts for everybody, and I challenged viewers to try and figure out what that was. And it's that I left like only a few uses of hand axe and a few uses of hammer on Dagda. So he actually had to fight some of those rounds with a broken axe. And that could have been bad because you have reduced parameters greatly when a weapon is broken. yeah, you can still fight with a broken martial weapon in this game, and it's pretty bad. I think it even allows you to get captured easier, although more easily. Although it's probably not possible for these brigands to ever capture Dagda. I usually send Ashian up and to the left here. I think once in a while I deploy somebody different for that person. Just basically anybody with 2 range can do it, but you have to be careful because the path to the right is pretty safe, because up in the upper right of the map there's only an outdoor area with a treasure chest, but in the same spot on the left there's just a room full of bandits with 2 range. So you can overcommit whoever you put there. And I've actually lost Ashian in that spot. We will see if that happens this time. And meanwhile, Asbel is just so ridiculously powerful at this point that he can't possibly lose to these guys. Although, I'll see if I can make it interesting. You do want to be careful with your thieves, because they can easily get picked off, even by one aberrant, powerful bandit with a bow, especially because some of these guys have poison weapons, so even if you don't get one shot, you can still die, especially if somebody gets stuck on a side that doesn't have any vulneraries or antitoxins. So, on a whim, I just kind of approached this like as if Tanya doesn't have invincibility, and I think at one point I heal her here. And I think that's a good practice, is you don't want to get in the habit of just metagaming like that, because then you get a little bit complacent, and after a while, if you happen to take quite a bit of time in this map, she will lose the invincibility flag. The treasures in this map are pretty good, possibly even worth more than getting these characters back, honestly. There's a leg ring in one of the chests. There's the Wrath manual. Once you get up here is where the real challenge is, just knowing how fast you should be going. Where you can't really see because you might not have torch range. And I think I generally positioned Dagda in this chapter more so that the thieves don't have trouble getting the treasure chest quickly. And that could have been risky, because um, as you'll see a bit later, there's more guys up there than I remembered. To my knowledge, there's no reinforcements, and a funny quirk of this map also is that there is a thief that is on the map in the very beginning, and he doesn't do anything. He just runs straight for the exit, and that's got to be an oversight or a bug. I don't know what you would call it, because there's so much good treasure on this map. You would think that they would want some competition for it, or something. Although it seems like it would make for a kind of weird experience with the thief opening those doors where there's some bandits inside, and then the bandits start pouring out. And if that was the case, why not just have the doors open to begin with, I guess? I don't know. But because there's no reinforcements or anything, there's really no downside to taking your time here. There's honestly no reason why you should lose any units from moving too quickly, in an Ironman at least. Um, but even though I have a very strong Asbel, and he's got a life ring that I used on him and everything, and I've got Leaf nearby, you should definitely be careful. Just because if they do connect, and obviously Asbel is poisoned here, so at some point somebody did connect, they can hit for upwards of like 20 damage. Some of these have like, this guy here has a steel bow, and I think some of them have steel axes too. So all you really need is 2 bad rolls, and then a unit like Asbel's 2 shots. See, like right there. And Lithis is getting attacked here, and I don't really think he had that big of a chance of dying unless he got crit, which is always possible. These bandits always have like a little bit of critical, I think, to them. But I have spent aggravating amounts of time waiting for guys to pick up treasure in this map. So it can be good to bring a chest key also and put it on either one of your bulkier units or leaf. I don't remember if I've mentioned this yet, but I like to put stuff like night proofs on leaf, just like valuable stuff that I otherwise might not bring for fear of losing it. Just because my whole point of view is, if you're Iron Manning, it doesn't matter if you put that valuable stuff on your Lord or any other like lose condition character, because if they die, it's over anyway. So it almost gives you like more incentive to protect them in a way, I guess. One thing I forgot to mention is that when a weapon breaks, you keep using that weapon, but if a tome breaks, you just go straight to the next tome. So you don't have to worry about that so much with mages and the like. So that's good. The boss of this chapter is notoriously strong. The good thing is he is on a throne, so it's not like he's going to come chase you and you have to scramble or anything. But all of the warrior and bandit bosses in this game are like this. So if you see a guy like this, and especially if he's not on a throne, watch out. And I will definitely be talking about those guys more later on. But I don't know if I ever check his stats here so you can see, but they are astronomically high. It's like Shadow Dragon, like first and second chapter levels of ridiculosity. But luckily, if you have Asbel, just Graph Caliber him, then even like a non-busted Asbel can take care of him pretty well, especially if he crits. You just got to have leaf and range, and it's bound to happen. He doesn't have 2 range equipped by default, so it's not that big of a deal to get him in range and then just rescue him out if need be. You have Dagda, unless he died, and probably plenty of other guys who have enough build to rescue him. It's another thing where there's no incentive not to take your time, so just go ahead and do that if you wish. There's nothing really in the Japanese that's super interesting in this. One thing I will mention that's not really related to that at all is that this game, to my knowledge, has like no special boss conversations. And you might be thinking, oh, it's an older Fire Emblem, so they didn't have those yet. But Fire Emblem 4 has like the most boss conversations out of any of the games in the series. So yeah, there's 4 chests split among those rooms on the bottom, and there's another chest in the upper right, which I don't think has something that valuable, and then I think the leg ring is in the chest in the upper left. So you definitely want to clean up all those. One thing I did once was have Tanya, who somehow had enough weapon experience to equip a steel bow, just abuse her invincibility flag right at the spot she's at right now, and she killed a ton of bandits and gained a ton of levels, and just got up to promotion right there and got really good level ups, and I had like an endgame ready unit right there. And I've tried to replicate that ever since. It's never really worked. But fun fact, I think I don't recall if it's been in this chapter. I haven't really been looking at the video, but Tanya at some point gets 2 move level ups in a row. And spoiler alert, those are the only move level ups I get in this entire run. At the time of this recording, I have actually finished this run. Whether that means I died at some point or completed the game, you'll have to just wait and see. But it's by far the unluckiest run I've ever had in regard to move level ups. So yeah, as a last little point here, I would definitely say that, like, let's say you moved all of your units around the right-hand side of the map, or you just kind of bypassed that little hallway where Tanya is right now by just carefully moving over into spots where enemies can't reach you with 2 range. Just be careful once you enter the throne room, because all of those units that normally I attract with like 2 range units will spill into that room and ambush Asbel or whoever you send to kill Gomez. But even though there's a stairway there, no other units will spawn there, even with the boss still alive. So don't worry about that so much. But that's about all we have for Chapter 8 Gaiden. There's just this last little bit of cleanup here. I will see you in Chapter 9, which is an outdoor map, and you should know that if you have units dismounted indoors, which they can only be dismounted, as we've discussed, that at the beginning of the next chapter they won't automatically remount, and you'll have to spend the first turn remounting them. So if you've played the game once before already and you're trying to plan for a future run, try and remember what chapters come after the one you're deploying for indoors, and that's going to become actually critically important later on if we get there. So we're going to come back to that subject. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.